70% of the banking assets in this country are still with public sector banks. And by and large, the quality of service and the range of products that public sector banks are able to deliver to their customers leaves quite a bit to be desired. What the central bank in this country have envisaged is a variety of players. So they expect a significant but not an enormous number of universal banking franchises. On top of that, they are expecting specialized banks like payments banks that will be focused on transaction banking or transactional flows rather than just lending and deposit taking. And they're also looking at nurturing small community type of banks that are focused more or particularly on the poorer segments, customer segments in the market. When the second generation of private banks came into being in this country 15 odd years ago, 17 years ago, it really helped drive service standards to a new level, a better level of delivery across the board. So as the share of private banks expands, I think it will have the same salutary effect of improving the quality of service across, not just private banks, but also the remaining state-owned banks. The deep penetration of mobile technology actually makes the cost of delivering financial services at the doorstep of the customer in deepest rural India much lower than it was a decade ago. And so it's actually a huge opportunity. There may be small ticket opportunities. Per customer, revenue will be very small, margins will be thin, but the scale at which this business can now be developed is unimaginable. I think the answer to that will largely depend on the evolution of the Indian economy. You know, if the Indian economy is slated to grow at 6–7% a year over the next decade or so, the overall footprint of our banking system will grow at a rate that is a tad faster than all of that. From that, there will be a few banks that will emerge as consolidators in the Indian landscape itself, and that would certainly make them amongst some of the larger financial institutions across the world. But given the well-known differences between India and China, I don't think that Indian financial institutions over the next decade will necessarily or very easily emerge as the global monsters that their Chinese counterparts have already done.